Hi. Um, I'm retiring from working, and I just discovered that my other website, Wounded Times, is very close to hitting 5 million page views. It doesn't seem to matter if I post more on that or not, but that site that was dedicated to veterans and their families, uh, it's actually telling me that that need is still there. And then, of course, I have PTSD Patrol, which I'm not abandoning either one of them. But from now on, being free from the constraints of nonprofits and having to abide by their rules, I've decided that I'm going to be talking about what I feel needs to be said. Now, some people will like it, and some people won't like it. But I'm doing these sites from my heart from now on. I hope you like it, but if you don't, there's plenty of other sites that you can go into. So, with that said, this is going up on Wounded Times and PTSD Patrol, because every once in a while, something will remind you of a conversation that you had that haunts you. And that happened recently. Sometimes, you read something or something just reminds you of that conversation. And for me, one of the ones that I had was from a few years ago. I was at an event and I was sitting there and I was enjoying the music and enjoying the party-like atmosphere. It was a really good time. And all of a sudden, this veteran came over to me, staring at my chaplain patch that I had on my vest. And I swear, pure hatred came out, looking at that patch. And he wanted to know why I believed in something that didn't exist. Flabbergasted. And I could tell that he had been drinking too much. So he sat down and he started talking, and he was telling me about how there can't be a God after what he saw. And there's so much suffering and so much hatred and so much evil in the world that God can't exist. And we talked for a little while longer. And I started asking him some questions. Why did you join the military? I knew he was too young to be a Vietnam veteran. He said, I wanted to serve my country. I said, okay. Was that a good reason or a bad reason? He said, that was good. I said, okay. And why were you willing to risk your life? He said, for the other people I was with. And for the people we were sent to help. I said, was that a good reason or a bad reason? He said, good reason. I said, okay. But you can't see that evil exists and God was doing something about it. I guess that really set him off, because then he started talking about dying children and kids suffering and starving, and a loving God wouldn't let all that happen. Basically, what I asked him was, why do you think you were there? Who sent you? God does not mess with free will. He doesn't make people worship him. He doesn't make people listen to what he says. He doesn't make people do anything that will interfere with their free will. He will try to get through to them. He will ask other people to be the answer to someone else's prayers. but he won't force you to do it. And we talked a little while longer. And I asked him, do you think that you are evil? I was there, I know, and everything that came out of his mouth was pure garbage. And then I asked him why he's so sad after all that he saw. He said, because it mattered to me. And then I pointed out, if it matters to you, God was there. Because when you are surrounded by evil and you still retain goodness within you, that it bothers you and it hangs on to you, God is there because God is in you. Pretty much he started crying and he walked away, and I decided not to go after him because it was clear he had been drinking too much. And I never saw him again. But there's so much that grieves me. And it grieves me when we can't see that there is a lot of God out there in the world. You will only see what you focus on. But if you focus on what is good, like I know when terrible things happen to me, I could just focus on what happened to me instead of what happened for me. When people came to help, when people showed me that I mattered, and they cared, that came from God, even though what caused it didn't come from God. It came from a human's own free will. And God is a lot closer than you think he is, because he lives within all of us. Some of us have just decided to bury him and pretend he's not there at all. But that thing that makes you so miserable is him trying to wake you up. Today's video, Bette Midler, From a Distance. God is watching us, but he's a lot closer than you think. And he's not watching from a distance. He's watching through your eyes. So if you have PTSD, I'm always talking about healed mind, body, and spirit. Let that be a little bit of food for your spirit. And try to see what God is trying to tell you. Because you might be surprised if you listen to that inner voice in your soul. Enjoy the video, and remember, it's your life. Get in and drive it. See you next time.